What's up, everybody? This is Brandon here again with Emerald Coast Pro Plus Detailing, giving you some at-home maintenance tips on ways you can keep your car looking good and shiny and clean after we do all the hard work. The topic we're going to cover today is bugs. So I'm doing this from home. Main reason behind that is I do have a lot of clients who will invest money in getting their cars either ceramic coated or a high quality sealant, something to protect it. But the one thing you can never avoid in any hot climate, or especially here in Florida, are bugs. I always stress how important it is to get them off, how leaving them on could damage your paint. So I'm going to dip into that a little bit. If you've ever had any sort of service or interaction with me, you've probably heard me say this, but I'm just basically going to reiterate it. Obviously there's a lot of preventative things you can do using pressure washers and bug removers and things like that, but a lot of times if you're doing them in direct sun, they're very caustic to the paint, to potentially the trim, things like that. When they're in the heat accelerates the reaction and you can actually do damage. I've had a lot of people over the years send me pictures and video. They've sprayed degreasers and bug removers on their bumper and then never fully removed them, or the bumper was just simply too hot and it ends up damaging the plastic. If you look on a car like this, if you get the bug remover, the degreaser running down, it can stay in this trim. I've seen it far too many times. So the method that I'm going to show you today is a lot easier, a lot simpler, a lot safer. But in all reality, the reason why you really want to get rid of those bugs essentially is because you're dealing with not only intestinal acid, but you're dealing with enzymes. The things that a lot of these insects eat come from living organisms. Plants, it could be blood, mosquitoes, things like that. These are all enzymes. If you've ever had your car egged, you see what damage that an egg does to your car paint. It destroys it because it's an enzyme. Tree sap, it can eat right through your paint because it's an enzyme. Even if you've had old foliage like leaves and things sit on your car paint for prolonged periods of time, it etches into the paint because it's an enzyme. It's very caustic. The water, the heat, everything kind of reactivates it, accelerates the reaction, and it just eats away at the paints. The cars we have today, they're great. They have cool technology, there's more horsepower, there's better features, but the one place that they skimp out on is the paint. This is water-based paint, so it dries out really fast. Same thing with the headlights. I'm pointing in the wrong direction here. Got my phone flipped around. Back in the day, headlights used to be made of glass. They would never oxidize. They would never break down. They're plastic now, and there's a very thin layer of UV protection on there. So it's one of the first things that fades along with your trim. So that'll be another video. But these are just some of the aspects of the car that just aren't made as good anymore because they're putting so much more into the engine, the transmission, the tires, the technology. So getting those bugs off the front bumper will really help substantially. Failure to get them off, like I said, you're dealing with you're dealing with an acid, which is extremely caustic, and then you're dealing with intestinal enzymes, which are also caustic, and the material that the bugs have eaten. So the combination of those three plus the heat, realistically, during the summer, if you have a black car or a dark color car, really any car, 4 to 6 hours, there can be permanent damage done to your paint. So the sooner you get them off, the better. So this is a method that is incredibly safe. You're not using any bug removers, you're not using over-aggressive force, you're just using a quality cleaner. It can be done outdoors, indoors. Of course, we would recommend pressure washing the bumper down, maybe using a bug remover, doing it in the shade, but not everybody has access to that. So that's kind of why I'm showing you this video. So, I don't know if I can flip my camera around. I don't think I can. That's all right. So I'll just go like this. We are going to be using Gloss Shop Sublime Express Wash. Now, what that is a rinseless wash. You may have heard me, if you've ever talked to me or seen my videos, I always recommend O&R Optimum No Rinse. That is a great product. However, it does contain soy, and on a coated car, it can clog the coating over time. So what happens when a coating gets clogged is it's kind of like when your skin gets clogged. Your paint, just like your skin, has pores. The soy, what happens is because you're never really rinsing it off, some of the dirt still sits on the surface and the soy kind of still eats away at it and tries to break it down or emulsify it and lift it up. But it's because you're never really fully rinsing it away. It just becomes embedded in the coating. So what will happen is instead of it beating and repelling off, it'll stick and sheet, which reduces the contact angle, which reduces the self-cleaning ability of the coating. So we don't want to do that. And it doesn't happen with all coatings. I've seen it happen with some very poor coatings. I've seen it happen with some very good coatings. I've seen it have no effect on certain coatings. So it's really tough to say what it does and doesn't work on. It also depends on how dirty the car is. So this particular method, I prefer to use Sublime Express Wash because there is no soy, there are no fillers, there are no additives, there's nothing that will clog and deter the natural properties of a ceramic. Now, if you don't have a coated car, you can use ONR, you can use this, you can use anything. I like this one because you can use it on everything. So I prefer this method over anything else. Another method that I give people, or another tip I should say I give people, is keeping like a nice microfiber and keeping a bottle of this in your car. A lot of my clients are military and they've got a decent commute to being on base, and what happens is they get a bunch of bugs on the front of their bumper, and then when they get to base they're like, well, I'm going to be on base for 8 to 10 hours, I got to wash them off, and they don't have access to a hose. What I say is simply keep a towel in a Ziploc bag, and when you get there, just kind of spray it down. I'll show you the method, but it's something that you can do on the go. If you do that with ONR, because it contains the soy, when the soy absorbs the dirt and lifts the dirt, it starts to sour, so it starts to smell. This won't happen with Sublime Wash. So this is again why I recommend this. There's nothing wrong with ONR. We still use it, but for a do-it-yourself, I don't want to say bulletproof, but it's just an easier option with less altercations possibly. This is a much better method to do. So basically what you need is a nice microfiber towel. I use Auto Fiber mitts, the flip mitts. We have these at the shop for purchase. You can also get them online through Auto Fiber. There's a bunch of other websites that have it as well. I have the Sublime Express Wash in here, somewhere around an ounce in a 32-ounce bottle. All right, so basically what we're doing here is spraying the Sublime Wash on the front bumper. So basically what it's doing is it's adding some cleaning ability. It's starting to attack the dirt, lift it off the surface. It's also giving us a lubricant, so we don't scratch the paint. This isn't just water or spray wax or something. This is a fortified cleaner that is meant for rinseless washing. So when I say rinseless, it means we're never rinsing it down. We're basically cleaning it and drying it. There's no rinsing. So you can see that this stuff, it's fairly thick. And the longer you let this sit on, the better. But if you're doing it in the sunlight, don't leave it on too long, because if it dries out, it completely loses effectiveness. So I don't have a ton of bugs on the front of my bumper, but I have enough to where you can kind of see what's going on. I've got a lot more down here, actually. So what I'm going to do, if I can do this with one hand, I'm just going to put this here, just spray on my towel. This would be easier with two hands, but so all you want to do is you want to spray some of that Sublime Wash on here and just gently. Now I'm not putting a lot of force, okay? The last thing you want to do is over-exert or overwork your wash media. And when I say by wash media, I mean the towel. So I'm not digging, I'm not scraping, I'm just being thorough, and you can see how it's taking the bugs off. One thing you don't want to do is put a lot of force and push or scrub really hard like that. Just go in one fluent motion and just do a small section at a time. Trying to do this whole bumper in one shot, I don't recommend that, okay? So, and realistically what you want to do is each section of the bumper you want to use a different side, and then this mitt flips inside out to a whole new side. So you really have 8 sides total. And of course you want to make sure you have a good candidate to do this type of thing. If you have bugs on here from a 3,000-mile road trip, you may want to get a pressure washer out. But this is just for if you've done a short commute and you got a couple bugs on here. Of course, this is from months of building up. So even this, you could sit there and say, yeah, you might want to use a pressure washer, because you can see how some of them are sticking. They do eventually come off. So you can see down here we got a bunch of bugs. And we just kind of go over and they're gone. So it's really important to get those off in a timely manner because, like I said, they can etch your paint, they can damage your paint, can damage your coating. Doing this method truly does pay dividends. So you can see that spot had a whole bunch of bugs on there and it's pretty much gone. Like I said, you can go back over and, you know, I say firmly rub. You don't want to be over forceful. I'm just kind of jigging the towel. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on. And if something like this happens where you have a bug spot that just isn't coming off, just work on it, okay? Spray a little bit more, let it emulsify in, let it work. Sometimes you have to go back over it 2 or 3 times to get rid of it, because the longer these sit, the harder it is to get off. But eventually they all come off. And it's a little bit difficult here with one hand. But you will have some areas, I mean, you can see like this one, this is a really hard bug bomb there that may have to get clayed off. This car is not coated, so things can stick to it a lot easier. So if you have a coated car, it likely would come off a lot easier. But you can see that I let the product sit on there and then I wiped it very gently and it came off. So really this product really is fantastic. We use it every day and it really does help clean. We got another spot right there and you can see it just wipes off. So the longer you let this product work, the better it's going to be. It will not clog coatings, it will not damage them. You know, it's just a great product. Like I said, so this is really a safe way to remove bugs on any type of vehicle, but I wanted to show you on a non-coated car how easy it is. But if you have a coated car and you really are worried about bugs, this will also be great, and you don't have access to a hose all the time. So, and then really what you want to do here is just take a waffle towel or a fresh towel and just kind of dry this down real quick, and you know, everything would be nice and clean then. So I do not recommend doing the whole car this way. That is what's called waterless washing, and you're really at a high risk of swirling and marring your paint. I always recommend doing a traditional wash if you're washing your whole car, or a rinseless wash, which I do have a video on that if you'd like to see it. Alright guys, so there you have it. I hope that video was helpful to you. I'm going to touch up the rest of my bumper here, but like I said, when you're working with bugs, you know, time is of the essence. I let these bugs sit on this bumper for probably about 4 months, 5 months, maybe 6, I don't know. It's my A to B car. I know being a detailer, I shouldn't promote not washing it, but I'm too busy doing everybody else's cars, so sometimes it gets tough. But you've seen that some of these bugs were really caked on there, and really it's all about, you know, technique. Is just very gently, you know, just massaging the paint and working it over. Eventually all of those bugs and everything came off. So you gotta understand, if it's months and months and months of buildup, it's not gonna come off in 2 seconds, you know. But if it's something where it just happens, like I said, you're traveling A to B, or even if you're doing a road trip, they're on there for, you know, a handful of hours, always better to do something like this. Another recommendation I have is if you do like doing a process like this, using warm water. So you could have like a little cool-up container or something with some warm water and just keeping this towel warm. Understand that when you rehydrate the bug matter that's on here and you're warming it up, it's going to come off a lot easier. You know, it's like anything else. It's better to clean things with a warmer water or a lukewarm water than a cold shower or cold water. Like I said, taking a cold shower to a warm shower. You know, on a substrate like this, heat is better. It lets it expand a little bit. You can get those bugs off a little bit better. So it's all, warm water does help. So that's a little tip that you can use there. As far as if you're doing this on the road, like I said, you can keep a towel like this in a Ziploc baggie in your glove box, and then keep a bottle of the Sublime wash just in your trunk somewhere where it's fastened down, where it's not rolling around or it might leak. If it does leak, it's not going to damage your car, but you don't want to waste product. So I will leave some links in the description for any people that are wanting to perhaps purchase Sublime wash directly through Gloss Shop. We also do carry it at our shop for consumer reasons. It's a great product. They have a whole line. I highly recommend them. We use their coatings, we use their washes, their shampoos, and protection agents, and we are always impressed with the new things that's coming out of the Gloss Shop. So we always like to kind of give back and let people know what's good out there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave one in the comment section. Give us a like and a subscribe for more do-it-yourself care, or stop by the shop if you have any questions. Thanks.